Hello and welcome to another episode of Atomic Vinyl Reviews. And today it's a very exciting episode because this is my sort of first thoughts and a little review of the second part of the Netflix Godzilla anime series. So the first one, Godzilla Planet of the Monsters or Monster Planet, whichever you prefer. I prefer Monster Planet. And this is City on the Edge of Battle. It's been out on Netflix for maybe about half a day now. I live in Australia, so by whatever Australian time code we're going, whatever Australian time code I go by, it's almost midnight on the 18th. I had a busy day, so I couldn't get to it till now. So I'm about to watch it, and I'm probably going to do a review of it first thing in the morning, so it'll be a bit brighter by then. But I just wanted to do this little epilogue or prologue, whichever one is the one that comes first. Just a little intro to the video to sort of, yeah, you know. But yeah, I'm really excited to see this one. I've just been catching up on a few clips of the first one just to sort of get me up to speed with what's been happening, remind myself what's been going down. I'm sort of thinking back to that trailer analysis video. I did two of those for this film, so I'm really curious to see whether they're gonna do anything from those. I'm actually really curious what's gonna happen in this movie, because the last one, though I liked it. I thought that they could have done more with it, and then it felt a little incomplete. It felt like partway through a story, and it was just I had a sort of a mixture of positives and negatives with it. But one thing it did do was it got me really excited for a sequel. It left a lot of cool things in there that I'm like, okay, they could do something good with this. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this one. So without further ado, I'm gonna cut away and I'm gonna watch it, and then I'm probably gonna sleep or have a very restless sleep thinking about this movie, and then I'm gonna do a proper review and just give my honest opinion and thoughts about this movie for you guys. And yeah, I'm really interested to see what you guys thought of it too. So yeah, in this cutscene here, write in the comments what were your first initial thoughts of the movie, maybe in like 5 words. That would be pretty cool. So yeah, see you soon. Alright, so I'm back. It's the next morning. I've watched the movie, and overall I liked it. It was definitely an improvement over the first one, I think. The first one I found, like, I overall I liked the first one, but it was lacking in certain things. It felt a little bit clinical, a little bit cold, because the characters were very one-dimensional. They didn't have much development, and it was the imagery in that film was very like cold colors and very sort of oversaturated, sort of very white bluish tones and stuff like that, and with the CG animation it felt a little robotic. But this one we got some, it was less time spent in the spaceship and stuff like that, and more time spent on the actual planet, getting to see the environments more. We got some more earth tones, some hot fiery reds in there. It was really quite refreshing after that first film. And the way these films are panning out, I kind of see it as they're not separate films, they're just one continuation. Like they're sort of split up into the 3 films, but that's probably just for length, because really, like, I feel like compared to other series, this one, it doesn't have the same how do you say, like they've got their own complete stories kind of in each film, but they don't, like, the character arcs between the films don't really stand up on their own. But if you were to watch them as just one long movie, I feel that that's sort of more what they were going for, and that has much more solid structure towards the characters and the story, really. I'm probably going to get into spoilers from this point on, or somewhere soon. I'm not really planning on when I'm going to throw some in. So just if you haven't seen the movie, I recommend you go see it. Netflix has a free trial for a month, so if you don't have Netflix, just do that. Sign up for the free trial, and then you can enjoy it and enjoy both those films for that month. So yeah, go do that and see the movie if you haven't yet, because I'm probably gonna get into a lot of spoilers later on. But what else to say? Oh, there's quite a lot to say, really. Just before I get into the film, I will also point out that this morning a teaser trailer for Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the second, the sequel to Godzilla 2014, a little teaser trailer for that came out. It's very Stranger Things, actually. When I saw someone linked it on the Australian Godzilla fans and collectors page, I just saw the like you know when you scan over it and it starts playing without the sound. I'm like, wait, why did they link? I was just thinking to myself, why did they link a Stranger Things video on this page? And then I'm like, and then it no, it's just the actress. But it really looks like it could and should be Stranger Things. And another a big thing that happened this morning too was we got our Jesus, I can't talk today. We got pictures and a confirmation of our next Monster Arts figure on its way. So last time we had a Gamera 1999, I think it was, Gamera 3 Gamera. I have a pre-order for that one. I'm really looking forward to that one. But we got a really cool release that's just come out now, and well, it's not come out now, but just pictures of it, because it's going to come out in maybe like a year or half a year or something. But Godzilla 1962, I think. King Kong versus Godzilla, that one, the first one that was ever in color. He comes with a beam, which is awesome. The sculpt looks really good. I'm pretty sure it's a Sakai sculpt, as always, which is just fantastic. And yeah, it comes with a beam. Only issue with that one is that his claws on his feet aren't really painted. So I hope they tweak that when they release the final thing, because if it's kind of gonna be like the 1954 Godzilla release, where they just kind of were lazy with painting some of the nails on that one, it's gonna be a bit disappointing. But that out of the way, let's get back to Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle. So just from the credits, you kind of see a major theme in this film, which is you saw the credits kind of like it looked like this sort of metallic liquid pouring into like these weird sort of like look like ant hill, the tunnel sort of shapes, and then it like swooshed out and turned into the Godzilla logo. So you could see that some sort of a liquidy metal is going to play a big part in this film. The music in this movie was pretty good all around. I don't know how the music in this series. It's like I really like some of the orchestral stuff, and when they especially Godzilla's theme, it feels kind of really plotty and like it kind of fits. But it's still better than it's definitely better than, say, like Godzilla 2014's theme and all of that sort of stuff in that film. I felt like, yeah, that one was sort of like 50s B movie-esque, and like it had some cool moments, but overall was highly forgettable. But this one, it kind of has a nice atmosphere, and some of the orchestral stuff sounds really good. But especially since we got Shin Godzilla just a couple of years back, it kind of like you can really tell that the difference in quality and like just the mood and stuff like that between like something like Godzilla 2014 and this anime series, and like the stuff they did in Godzilla 2014, which not 2014, Godzilla Shin Godzilla 2016, where that stuff was phenomenal. So the music is definitely passable, and I'd say sort of above average forgettableness. So I was happy with that. Yes, so spoilers for sure now. A lot of everyone was expecting to see Mechagodzilla in this movie. We kinda did, but no, we didn't. We what there was well, if you've seen the movie, you know it's like Mechagodzilla is just basically just hyper evolved, sort of like the Terminator 2 villain metal, basically, but like not even like that. It's like it's not even like a moving sort of creature. It's just Mechagodzilla is just a city, basically. Looks more like a big factory or military complex, or something more than an actual city, really. But that's the story behind Mechagodzilla. Is it's like it was made of this thing called nanometal, and over the 20,000 years, it like because it had some sort of self-intelligence or evolving capability, it just evolved over time and eventually was able to duplicate itself hundreds of times to the point where it seeped out into the landscape around the destroyed factory complex where the original Mechagodzilla was, and then it rebuilt the whole facility made entirely out of basically Mechagodzilla and this nanometal stuff. Um, so unfortunately, we don't get to see Mechagodzilla do anything really. I mean, we see the city doing stuff, but it's not like it doesn't seem. It's not. It's more like it was very interesting. Like it was kind of dark actually, and kind of creepy, especially when like the people started getting eaten up by it, and like that whole part where we really get to see like more into the minds and philosophy of the Ludo race, alien species, and their sort of thinking and their connection to this stuff and all that. So in that sense, the city was very interesting, and I really liked that part of it. But with the combat with Godzilla sort of sense, like it was a bit like I felt like it could have done a little more. So we didn't actually get to see like they didn't like from the trailers it made it look like they found the place where Mechagodzilla was and then they like rebuilt him and used that and like people like I think people were theorizing that Mechagodzilla is actually the same size as this Godzilla or something like that, but I think Mechagodzilla was still just like the 50 meters like the original Godzilla would have been back in the present day of that universe. You know what I mean? But back when people just started evacuating the planet when Mechagodzilla was destroyed in that. But aside from Mechagodzilla, we have a lot of other monsters confirmed in this series. Just the weird thing is, we have all of these monsters confirmed. Like there was that whole lot of them in the trailer, not the trailer, the intro montage of the first film, which I really like that montage. So we had like Olga, Rodan, and a bunch of other weird ones, Kamakuras and stuff like that. So we had those, and we have again, spoiler, in this film we have Mothra confirmed. They never say Mothra, but god damn, she is confirmed. It's kind of obvious from the trailers anyway. I mean, if you look at my trailer analysis, like it was like really obvious. And we also have King Ghidorah confirmed. It's kind of the end credit scene where they actually officially reveal King Ghidorah. I mean, we don't see him, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. They didn't need that. I would have preferred if they had just left that unsaid, because it kind of feels a little patronizing to have that said to you. I mean, like, I know not everyone viewing that is gonna have the whole background of Godzilla and stuff, but like so many movies. I mean, we got King of the Monsters coming out, which is gonna have Mothra and King Ghidorah again, and so they just keep throwing those same two monsters in. I mean, I love Mothra and King Ghidorah, but I want to see Baragon, I want to see Anguirus, I want to see Rodan, which, yeah, he is in King of the Monsters, but my theory is that probably if they're gonna kill off one monster really quick, it's probably gonna be Rodan again, just the way they killed off Baragon and GMK. Because they never give those like I've those sort of underrated monsters a good chance, and they keep forcing out Mothra and King Ghidorah, and I'd actually kind of prefer if there was a. Again, I'm going off on a sidetrack. I'd prefer if we got a Mothra, um, an American Mothra solo movie instead of throwing them in together first. I really wish they would do that instead. I'd prefer waiting for King of the Monsters and have, you know, the Mothra film first, but we'll see. But yeah, so we got those monsters confirmed. And I was wrong. If you watch my trailer analysis, I made fun at the scene where Medfees was kind of leaning into, what's his name, Haruo. And I was like, oh my god, are they gonna kiss? And so they didn't, but I still believe it's kind of possible. Because you saw that, what, I forgot her name. The female character, her and Haruo kiss, but I still think that Haruo and Medfees have something going on, because if you, it's like in the beginning of this film when you know, so Haruo is saved by the native girl, and I'm gonna get into that in a little bit, but it was just funny because I was like, because of my theory from the trailer, just I wasn't really expecting it, but in my back of my mind I kind of was. So I was like paying attention to like how many times Haruo like kept bringing up Medfees' name, like when like everyone was scattered and they were like trying to find each other, or when like he was just like in a tough situation and he was just like talking to himself, he would just always be like Medfees. And so I'm just like, yeah, there's something going on there that it was. I wonder if it's gonna pan out in the next film, especially considering that like when I don't know, I forgot it, where is her name, like Tani or something. When she kisses Haruo, he doesn't really kiss her back. He's just kind of like there. The only thing that's going against my theory of this is like when Medfees leans in to Haruo's ear to whisper in Ghidorah. Haruo kind of like backs off like, ugh. But you know, he just might be nervous. You don't know. We don't know. But yeah. So my theory, though not yet confirmed, has not been what's the word? Debunked yet. But yeah. So the native people, it's kind of interesting. Like you know, they don't say Mothra at all, and they're really cryptic in the way they talk, but there's no chance that it's not Mothra, unless for some weird reason they worship Kamakuras or Spiga or one of those other insect monsters. So the deal with them is, and this is kind of a little cool sort of mythology that this series sort of brings up, is like every one of these races basically has their own monster that kind of represents them in a way. Humanity has Godzilla, obviously, born of the earth, and of humanity's abuse of, you know, technology and abusing nature. The Exif, because they're based on Ex-aliens, and you know, like the ones from Monster Zero, and you know, those sort of movies, those aliens. They're obviously based off those ones. I said that in my earlier videos, so it was no surprise that their monster is Ghidorah that destroyed their world. And I like the way they kind of build up Ghidorah, like and what's his name was saying that like he's Ghidorah is like the sort of is, if you're worried, scared or worried about Godzilla, then he's not warranted that, like, compared to Ghidorah. So it's interesting to see if they actually pair them up. Because, like I was saying, there's so many of these confirmed monsters now, and yet we've gotten Godzilla. We haven't, aside from a couple of stills, we have not yet seen, and this has been 2 of the 3 movies, Godzilla battle any monsters, like actual movement. He's just sort of battled shooting humans, and So it's like all the monsters are there in the mythology and in the story, but they're not really active in any way, unfortunately. I don't know. But so yeah, the Exif have Ghidorah, and the Visuludo obviously have Mechagodzilla, um, and the I forgot the name of them, um, but they're the humanoids, the people on the planet, which like it's not come some speculation about whether they evolved from insects, because apparently they have some insect type DNA in them, but they're like obviously humans, and I don't really, even though there's all the like monster radiation and weird stuff going on, I still don't believe a whole humanoid race would evolve from insects within 20,000 years. It's kind of even insane, a little bit insane in this um, movie's universe. Maybe not with like seven coming out, but still. So I'm gonna guess that there what happened with the people is like in the same way that like the plant life on Earth and all the creatures kind of started mimicking Godzilla's biology with their weird pseudoscience that they brought up in the first film, uh, where stuff evolves sideways or by something lateral. I don't know. But whatever it was, it's just apparently stuff kind of evolves in weird ways because of Godzilla. And in the same way, I think that's sort of what happened with the people because of Mothra. They kind of started evolving um, it's more insectoid, and that's why they have like the markings on them, which is actually pretty cool. I like the way that the markings on the people were actual like powder that came from their skin in a way, the same way as Mothra or moths and butterflies in general. They have the powder on their wings, which has the pigment that gives them their wings that color. So that was pretty interesting. They're also like a bit shorter than people, and so they kind of match with like the smaller fairies and all that. And so I really like that, and I liked exploring like some deeper into some of the like I don't think everyone still had sort of one character basically, like they didn't have their personalities like didn't go through much of an arc. I mean, Haruo kind of started doubting himself, which was pretty. I'm glad that happened. They kind of uh, put in some drama and got more of an insight into his character because he was very monotone in the first film, and pretty much nobody really. They delve deeper into their characters, but they don't really change all that much, except for Haruo, where he started having some, doubts and stuff like that, and through that he got to, getting to know the other people a bit more, talking more with Metphys and the other people, the Bisoludo. Obviously, we get to see their sort of true colors, delve into their actual philosophy, because before, everyone was just sort of, there wasn't much different between the races, even though there were like three different races of different aliens, including humans. So it's nice to see that that they started varying up a bit, and I'm curious where all of this is going. Oh, what else to say about it though? I feel like they could have, yeah, they could have done more of the city and the action. Like Godzilla, I think he was a little underutilized in this, but I was really happy to see the development with the characters just enough that it made the film actually a lot more interesting to watch than just the shooty stuff, the battle strategy and the shooty stuff there in the first film, which I found a little boring because they like to throw in a lot of technobabble stuff and pseudoscience-y type stuff at you really fast about how this is gonna work, and without really explaining it in a way that the regular viewer can understand. You kind of have to like either like pause it and wait, re-listen to it, or like read up on what they're doing for it to make any real sense. And it's especially in the first film, it was really important to the story. Here I think they did it a little better, so that was a good thing. And yeah, so Godzilla didn't feel quite as big in this film. I mean, though he did have some really cool moments when they had that first um, they first started battling him, but he this was one where it was like not much of him doing anything for a while. But like I said, the people were busy exploring, which is a lot better than the first film where there wasn't all that much exploring. Sorry about that. And yeah, overall, it left me really excited about the next film, and I do wish we got to see just a little tidbit more of the end credits, like at the end credits. Just had like this weird sort of psychedelic moment of like Haro freaking out, and then cutting back to the scene when Memphis whispers in his ear. So that's gonna have to be important in the next film, and I think we're only getting the the one more film in this series. So it makes sense that if they're gonna bring in Ghidorah, it's probably gonna be in that film. It's gonna be kind of funny if they do, I guess. But maybe it'll turn out something like Ghidorah comes to Earth, and it turn out that Godzilla is the only thing that can actually protect the planet or something. But one thing that was actually disproven from my trailer was I thought it was going to be sort of like a Princess Mononoke type thing, where it turns out, or a or just sort of more along the Miyazaki sort of uh, story arc thing, where it turns out that Godzilla is actually like needed and is like the good a good force of nature, but it's the way they sort of panned it out was because of humanity's creating of Godzilla, it sort of doomed nature, since even though they've left, that it was kind of irreversible, and now it's like their responsibility to get rid of him, which is actually also a good way of looking at it. But yeah, I thought that the native people would like have some sort of respect for Godzilla or something like that. But I guess since Godzilla killed Mothra, um, killed their god, as they say, they feel a bit differently. So that was interesting, and disproved one of my theories from my trailer analysis. And yeah, that'll about do for this quick reaction review of the movie. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend checking it out. I feel that the series is panning out in a pretty good way. It's getting more interesting, and um, I, and we actually kind of even got Burning Godzilla in this film. Not quite, but pretty much. Like I feel like it was a direct homage to that. So we have a lot of monsters confirmed, but it's just kind of weird, again, like I said, how we haven't got much monster action on screen. Um, Even like Mechagodzilla, the most that I really saw is Mechagodzilla doing sort of actively was kind of killing a couple of Servum, which was pretty, I like that scene, it was pretty gruesome and interesting. But yeah, overall, I recommend checking it out, and yeah, I'm really excited to see the next film in this series. I have no idea when it's coming out now. Hopefully soon, because I really don't like waiting like a year between these films when they feel so much like they are one film. Um, and so, without further ado, may all your vinyl be irradiated vinyl. Be sure to leave your thoughts about the movie down in the comments below. Again, like I said, like maybe in 5 words or something like that, or just a really long review or withatever, or just thoughts about my thoughts. Be sure to do that in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that jazz. And without further ado, over and out.